As we wait on the White House to comment more on the hack, some lawmakers on Capitol Hill are pushing for a vote to protect infant survivors of abortion. Here to tell us more about the BornAlive Abortion Survivors Protection Act is Kat Talalas, Assistant Director for Pro-Life Communications for the USCCB's Pro-Life Committee. So, Kat, first tell us what this bill would require.
The BornAlive Abortion Survivors Protection Act makes the obligation of abortion providers clear, and that is to provide newborn survivors of abortion with the same care and attention that will be provided to any other child at the same gestational age. It also requires these abortion providers to give the child to a hospital where they can receive care from qualified specialists, and makes the abortion providers and all clinicians and staff at these clinics mandatory reporters in case that law is not followed.
So what kind of care are babies currently being given if they're born alive during an abortion?
Unfortunately, it's really hard to know because the reporting very much varies state to state, but the outcome probably isn't very good. Again, abortion providers are hired to terminate a pregnancy and to ensure a live birth does not happen. So we know, and we know from examples over the past, several years, that a lot of abortion providers have not been providing the standard of care as is listed in this act, which is, again, just to give these newborn babies care and a chance to survive.
Virginia's Governor Ralph Northam, who's a pediatric neurosurgeon, answered that question himself during an interview in 2019. Let's take a listen.
If a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mothers.
So how often does this actually happen in the U.S.?
Unfortunately, because of the gaps in national and state abortion reporting and the continued opposition from abortion advocacy groups to improve reporting, there's a lot we don't know. But we do know that even in states that do require some level of reporting, any reporting on how these babies survive after abortion is done by abortion clinic staff, again, who are hired to terminate the pregnancy.
Right.
Based on the limited data that is available, we believe it's probably hundreds of children each year, and that's a conservative estimate.
Wow. So let's take a look at some of the numbers we do have. Between 2003 and 2014, the CDC analyzed death certificates and found that at least 143 babies were born alive and subsequently died after an attempted abortion. In 2017, Arizona reported 10 babies born alive in just a 5-month period. Now, as you know, only 29 states publicize data on abortions each year, and a lot of it is very outdated. Why do you think that is, and do you think all of the data should be made available to the public?
Absolutely. This data should be made available. And one thing that this bill does, again, is hopefully improve reporting by making these clinician staff mandatory reporters. We do know that the more information we know, the better. And I sincerely hope that, again, that all this information will be brought to light, because the public does deserve to know about these babies who are born alive during an abortion.
Absolutely. So talk about the status of the bill now. How many congressmen have signed on so far? How many signatures are still needed?
Great. So the discharge petition is actually in a really great spot. It was just launched a few weeks ago, but already 209 congressmen have signed the discharge petition, and that is only 9 congressmen away from the limit needed to bring this bill to the floor.
So what can people at home do to try to make sure that this bill is passed?
One of the most important things they can do is to advocate, to contact Congress. And we at the USCCB have an action alerts page where people can go to usccb.org and take action and contact their congressman directly and ask them to sign the discharge petition.
All right, some good advice. Kat Talalas, Assistant Director for Pro-Life Communications for the USCCB's Pro-Life Committee. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
As Kat said, if you would like to encourage your local congressman to sign the BornAlive Act, go to usccb.org/take-action. The U.S. bishops also fighting a Democrat-led repeal of the Hyde Amendment, named after Republican Congressman Henry Hyde. It was a law enacted in 1976 in response to the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision. It bars taxpayer money from being used for most abortions and is re-upped every year as a rider to federal spending bills. President Biden has said in the past that he will work to overturn the law. A repeal of the amendment would require both chambers of Congress. The House and the Senate are now in Democrats' control. If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell to get updates to all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.